Hello everyone, welcome to SJ Talks. This is your host Adya, and today we have a guest having over 20 years of experience working in major companies like Dell, Barclays, and Wells Fargo's. Along with working in these sectors of areas, he has also led large team projects and leaded teams towards working in AI as well as business strategy. He helped companies grow and evolve through planning, decision making, critical thinking skills. So we have Mr. Minal Chinchkar. Thank you, sir.
Hi, hello.
Yeah, thank you
Yes,
for being a part of this podcast with us today. And
absolutely, my
sparing your
pleasure.
time. It's been an extreme pleasure having you here.
Sure.
You've been in this field for so long, right? And you've worked in multiple of these companies, Dell, Barclays, and all of those. What did it feel like working in all of these three areas of companies? How was it different?
No, I think if I look my journey, it started back in 2002, and
Okay,
at that time I started with my own venture. It
okay,
was a startup which we
okay,
started, three friends, right? And then we were running that company for around 2.5 hours, 2.5 years, right?
okay,
2002 until end of 2004, right? But then that was a very good experience, and then onwards we thought maybe, yeah, it's probably not that easy to run an organization or a startup, right, without having proper experience. And that's why all of us thought that probably, yeah, let's move into the corporate field, and that's how the journey started. Now it
okay,
started in 2004 with Convergys, where I was working for
okay,
Microsoft, right? So that was, the first, I would say, the venture into the real uh, uh, big tech company, big tech
okay,
organization, working for Microsoft, right? And then after that, and I spent around, I think, around 3 years with Convergys, working for Microsoft, and then from there I moved to Hewlett Packard in Bangalore.
okay,
And then that was again a journey. So Hewlett Packard to Dell, these were IT infrastructure measures, right? These are the big brands in the IT infrastructure area. But then uh, moving away from say Dell was a conscious decision, wherein I thought, okay, fine, I've been in this field, I have learned a lot of things on, you know. Different IT infrastructure services and those areas, right? And from there on, if I have to take some new challenges, that's how I moved into Barclays, that was in
okay,
Pune. Barclays is a bank, as you know, right?
okay,
So that in itself was a different experience, because working in big tech, working in a product organization versus working in altogether a bank or fintech organization, right?
okay,
So that was a different exposure, because with bank there are a lot of different things, like regulatory aspect comes into picture. You deal with a lot of customer data, you deal with a lot of things which are regulatory in nature, and your actions are measured against the risk involved in it, right? So that's, I think, the biggest difference I
okay,
could see working in big tech organizations versus working in fintech organizations, right?
okay,
So both Barclays and Wells Fargo being banks, and of course in different areas, I mean different global locations, right? So Barclays in UK, while Wells Fargo in US. So that, but yes, the risk aspect to it, the data, the the time criticality, right? All of that is different compared to what it was in Dell or
okay,
in earlier big tech organizations. So that, I think, the is the primary differentiating factor. And along with that, of course, I mean, uh, the culture and everything else, right? So everything differs, right?
yeah,
While in, if you are in big tech organizations, you have more cool culture,
yeah,
right? When
yeah,
you feel like, okay, you are working like in a startup
hmm,
organization, a friendly thing and all, right? While in Barclays, in Wells Fargo, any fintech for that matter, right? I mean, there is coolness, but there's also a kind
it's
of,
strict
a lot of
regulations.
mature
Okay,
team members are there. You'll see a lot of, pressure coming while you deliver certain things, work on certain things. So those aspects definitely are there. So that's, I think, that was a differentiating factor.
Okay,
Yeah.
which one did you enjoy working in more?
I think both. I would say both, because big tech organizations offer you more freedom. I would say freedom in the
Okay.
sense the creativity, the creative aspect of it, right? Because therein, I think you can do a lot of things on your own. While in fintech, a lot of things are driven by what the organization wants, be it in
Okay.
terms of risk related things, be it in terms of so innovation is one thing which is, I think, definitely there in the big tech organizations,
Okay.
non fintechs, I would say, right? It's not that innovation is not there in fintech. In Wells, we do conduct a lot of hackathons, so that
Okay.
also creates a lot of ideas, a lot of new solutions, I would say, right? So those things are there, but yeah, I would say both have their own pros and cons,
Yeah.
and both are enjoyable.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
working, the beauty of working in
correct,
different sectors.
correct, correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And what was your startup about, if we could just like get a small gist?
Oh yeah. So the startup was primarily a software development firm. So
Okay.
wherein basically we were building customized softwares
Okay.
for mid-scale and small-scale players, and these were the custom solutions, right? Custom solutions built in, say, the previous technologies like Visual Basic and uh, primarily, yeah, VB, SQL, and Access, and all of that, right? But these were primarily, you can say, those softwares which can help small scale industries or small scale, basically, organizations, mid scale organizations as well, to an extent. That was also a very good journey, because I think I recall I think one of our customer, he was a farmer.
Okay,
Okay,
wow.
and that was a very I think, I mean, at that time, because we just completed our college, and then we started this thing, right? And he was a very good, and he was, of course, a young farmer, right? Who had he has, I think, rose nursery, and he used to cultivate different types of roses, and he
Okay.
used to export all of these products, these roses, worldwide, not just within India, but outside India as well. And he wanted a system where all of these things, right, the supply chain and all and the entire business to be automated using the software, right? And that's where I think we could help him. That was a very good experience, because that, I think, I mean, we could actually felt how we can help our day to day, in our day-to-day life, or how we can help our different, you can say, different set of people within India,
Yeah.
right? Different organizations, not just because generally when we say software is for big techs, or software is for big players and all. But at that, it was back in 2002, as I said. 2002 2003 time frame, right, when we built that software for the farmer. So that was, I think, one interesting thing. And it was of course a great journey. It was a great learning experience. We could learn a lot of things there. Yeah.
And you have this whole journey, right?
Yeah.
Now you're training people in business leadership, and you're leading teams.
Yeah.
How would you describe yourself as a leader?
No, I would say, as a leader, I have evolved over a time. Yes, I have. I've seen when it comes to people. I think, yes, I have seen a lot of people, a lot of team members whom I worked with, a lot of leaders whom I worked with. So all in all, I would say yes. It was definitely a good evolution for me as a self, and I could also see how industry has evolved over these 20 plus years, right? Because that evolution is, I think, amazing. Because when we started the career back in early 2000, 2002, 2004 time frame, right? So at that time, I think India was being considered primarily as the location where cost is a primary factor,
Okay.
right? So a lot of work that was coming to India, right, that was based on the fact that, yes, it is cost effective location.
Okay.
But then, as we move into, say, 2010 onwards, 2015, 2020 and onwards, right, So just cost is not a factor now. So beyond that, I think what we offer is a talent. What we offer is, I think, the quality, right? And of course, there are a lot of things that still needs to be done. But I think that's the primary difference I could see. I mean, we are no more being seen. India is no more being seen as just a cost-effective location,
Yes.
but it is the location where a lot of new ideas can be generated, and those can be expanded, enhanced upon. And as I told you about hackathons, right?
Yes.
So in Wells Fargo, we conduct a lot of hackathons, and during these hackathons, I could see, and Wells Fargo being a US bank, right? So some of these hackathons are global in nature. So we do see the drastic difference, the participation, right? So it's like 80 to 90% participation from India audience versus 10-15% from US, right? I mean, you can imagine it's a US
Yeah.
bank, but there is definitely a very enthusiastic participation from India, right?
Okay.
And a lot of these solutions, those are being built out of the hackathons, right? They are saving, I would say, definitely substantial amount for the bank, right? Latest, I think we are working on some of the internal projects, right? Where I think if we would have given those projects to external vendors to be implemented, it would have costed us millions of dollars. But
Okay.
with the internal solution, we could save those dollars. So that is the difference, and that's where I think the talent plays a crucial role. And
Okay.
nowadays, yes, that's amazing. So that's definitely a great shift I could see
Yeah.
in what we have seen over these 20 years. Yeah.
Was there ever in your journey where you felt like giving up, or thinking, is this the right stream of work did I choose?
No, I don't think so. It was never, because as a child, yes, as a child, I had, I always thought of doing something in, say, banking, doing something in the field of administration,
Okay.
right? But then eventually, as I went into 11th, 12th, then the thought process was very clear. I have to do something in the field of computers, not necessarily just engineering or something, but in the field of computers, right? And that's how we started with the firm, and then the rest is the history. But yeah, it was all enjoyable. What I wanted, I did that, I would say.
Okay, so you were
Yes.
always interested in
Always interested in
computers.
computers, and those specific
So you're doing
areas,
what
right?
you like, and that's nice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And talking about computers, technology has evolved a lot. Like even from when we were kids till now. So
Correct.
probably technology has also evolved a lot from when you started out to where you are now, right? So
Correct.
in what ways has it evolved, and how did you transform yourself according to it?
No, I think, yeah. So that, I think, evolution is just amazing, right? So evolution in not just in terms of, say, hardware, but in terms of software, right? That evolution is tremendous, and that's good part about technology as an industry, I would say, right? Wherein you have to race with time, because a lot of things happen at pace. So AI is the latest example, right? So artificial intelligence. So I think it started making news headlines for last 3+ years, I would say, right? 3 to 5 years max, right?
Yeah.
But AI has changed the overall our day-to-day life as well nowadays. I can see, right, immensely. And prior to that, it was internet, mobile phones. So yes, I mean, overall, I think technology as an industry has a great pace, and whosoever is working in technology field or domain, right, you have to definitely keep you have to be you have to race against time. That's, I think, that's very important, that you have to race against time. You need to keep evolving and reinventing yourself, right?
Yes.
So, and that's why when I started the career, it was more into software, IT infrastructure, then into data platforms, and then now into analytics and AI. So yes, so that has, I think, changed, and accordingly everyone should change.
Yeah.
Only then you'll be relevant. Yeah.
Yeah. And you've also worked in like you
Yeah.
said technological roles, but you also used worked a lot in leadership roles, right?
Mhm.
From both of those, which one did you enjoy working in more?
I would say both. So what happens is, see, when you are working as an individual contributor, right, IC role. So therein, I think your focus is primarily into okay, something I have to do, uh, and I did it. Okay, it's done and dusted. Next thing, done and dusted. So it's more,
Yeah, one way.
one way
Yeah.
thing, right? Where I mean, if you get a chance, you understand how that thing is being used and all. But otherwise, it's a kind of linear thing, right? But when you're in leadership role, you try to understand, or you get to see a lot of things which otherwise, as an IC, you may not realize, right? Or whatever you're doing, how it is related with the organization's business goals, right?
Okay.
So that interconnection is, I think, you get to see when you are in leadership role.
Okay.
So that way, I think, yes, leadership role definitely has a lot of. It does give you that exposure. It does give you the sense of belonging, and of course, it's a responsible job. There's a lot of responsibility on top of you, because whatever you do, your decision making, or whatever you do, basically, right? Your presence, your absence, everything matters a lot
Yeah,
when
you're
you're in leadership
responsible
role,
for all of it.
because it's not just you, it's your entire team, it's your customers, and hence the organization, right? So all of that is impacted by what you do. And that's
Yes.
where I think leadership role definitely has its pros and cons, but that is that's very exciting, I feel.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like you said, now leadership is something where you're responsible for multiple people, right?
Correct.
And everyone over there is a different person.
Correct.
Few people can be stubborn, few people listen to you easily, few people don't react to change that
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
So, how do you deal with different kinds of people when you are in that particular role? Because not everyone is the same over there.
Correct. So I think one common thread that binds the team is the common goal, and that's where I think business goal comes into picture, right? So at the start of the year, I mean, I have worked in so many organizations. I think the structure is the same, wherein at the start of the year, business goals are defined, and then based on the defined business goals, entire team works on, right?
Okay.
Now during that entire year, for that matter, then, right, so then you have a lot of so it's not about just about work related relationship when you're in office, right? You connect with these people in larger team gatherings, team meetings. You connect, at least I connect with them over one-on-ones as well, right? So that way I try to understand outside the work as well, as a person, how that human being, that individual is because that also plays a crucial role.
Yeah, to
Because
understand the individuality.
most of the time what happens, I think a lot of leaders I've seen, they tend to think, what is the use of one-on-ones? I mean, I understand one-on-one may not be on weekly basis and all, it may not make sense, but for you to connect with a person, those one-on-ones definitely play a crucial role. And then that also gives some kind of personal bonding, wherein that person seems to be comfortable working with you as a leader, right? So that way I think it becomes easy when you are connected, when you are communicated with the entire team over
Yeah.
larger team gatherings as well as doing one-on-ones.
Yeah, so
That plays a crucial role.
communication is very
Is
important.
important. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Correct.
And when you are like leading and you have lots of responsibilities on
Yeah.
you, there probably is lots of sudden decisions that you have to take.
Yeah.
So how common is a burnout while you're leading a particular team, and how do you deal with it?
Yeah, so I mean, again, so there are a lot of a lot such scenarios. It does that they do happen, right? Wherein I think you have to go through some difficult situations. You have to take some tough calls, right? Tough decisions are to be implemented, right? So at that time, I think what is needed is, yes, I mean, you have to be a little mature as a person, as a leader at that role, right? So if some things is being decided at enterprise level, at leadership level, right, and if that is to be conveyed or communicated and hence implemented at the organization level, right? So then I think it has to be done, right?
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, every decision has some reason behind it, and it has some expected outcome, based on that policy or that decision, right? So end of the day, you have to convey those things in a very professional manner to the team, right? And then accordingly, I think, of course, I mean, so as a leader, we must assess, pros and cons, right? Because at times it also happens that not every decision will be practically feasible, or it may have taken at, say, global level, but it will have some regional nuances as well, right?
Okay.
So how do we deal with those regional nuances? Are there any possibilities to tweak that decision at region level, right? So all of those permutations, combinations, we can try and see, and then it becomes easy to implement such decisions,
Yes.
within the team, within the org. Yeah, but that is required. Yeah, it needs to be it needs to be flexible, right? Wherever possible, and equally important is communicate it well and implement it. It is of utmost importance. Yeah.
Can we get one story of yours like that,
Oh yeah,
where
there are a
you
lot of
took it and
there
then
are a
we
lot
get
of
like
there are a
one?
lot of displacement. Not so good thing, right? Wherein I think a lot of team members, you must have read, heard, right? A lot of organizations are cutting jobs,
Yes.
right? So such scenarios or such decisions, right? Job cuts. I mean, reading it in a newspaper or on say channels or online, it's is one thing, but implementing that actual thing, right?
Yeah, it's very difficult.
With with the set of people you may be working on is definitely not easy,
Yeah.
right? So that is, I think, one example where I think, as a leader, we must have to, first of all, we must understand what is the rationale behind job cuts,
Okay.
displacements, right? And if it is to be implemented, at what level it should be implemented, and then to identify the set of people. Right? It's definitely again not easy because everyone is equally competent. That's why that person is in the team, right? But if you have to let go some people, those tough calls needs to be taken, and that's where I think that transparency plays a crucial role, of course, right?
Okay.
And of course, you can't go and tell the person until the last day, right, that he or she is getting
Yes.
displaced, right? That's the confidentiality agreement with the organization.
Okay.
But yes, so those are some of the tough scenarios where I think it takes a lot of I mean a lot of things, right? I mean it's pressurous as well as it's emotionally as well very difficult to deal
Yeah.
with, right? Because that person,
For a long
that decision
time.
will impact his or her life, and of course, I mean, it will impact probably positively or negatively as well. uh, but yes, I mean, you have to take a conscious call. So that's one example I would say, right, which is not so easy to implement.
Yeah, I think now
Yeah,
because you've been working with them for so long,
correct,
there's lots of emotional connection that's
correct.
happening. But along with this, like I said in the introduction, you also help business transformation.
Correct.
Yeah. So, what exactly is a business transformation, and how do you identify what part of a business needs to be transformed?
Oh yeah. So see, generally business transformation decisions are taken at CXO level. I would say when I say CXO level, it is at say OC, operating committee level, right,
Okay.
in the bank, at uh, at that level, right, wherein there is a thought process that okay, like AI implementation is one example, right, where organizations are deciding to implement AI. So that is one business transformation, you can say, agenda, right? Or other agenda can be if some organization is trying to set up a shop in India, right? So that is another example, right, of business transformation. Or implementing certain technology, onboarding certain technology in the organization. So when I was in Barclays, implementing big data and Hadoop, right, platforms, onboarding big data Hadoop platforms of that technology. That was one of the business transformation initiative, or even cloud migration was another. So all of these are business transformation initiatives, and so these are driven by mostly with the monetary aspect, right? So any organization when thinks of any business transformation use case, expectation is it will save cost, it will
Okay.
increase our revenue, two
Okay.
primary things, right? Now what does it mean, how much time it will take, and will it really do that? All of that is the thing which is where I think that decision comes into picture, that okay, we should go this route or that route, right? I mean, whether if cloud migration is one business transformation agenda or use case, then should I choose Microsoft Azure cloud versus AWS or Google cloud? That's the decision that needs to be taken based on
Okay.
how beneficial, what are the pros and cons of using Google versus Microsoft, so on and so forth, right? So yes, I mean, so in my case, I mean, I have worked on multiple business transformation areas. As I said, in Barclays, we built Hadoop platforms, big data Hadoop platforms, and I recall in Barclays we had this APSA Bank. Barclays had acquired APSA Bank, which is in South Africa, right? And further they saw, I think, sold that business unit. But for APSA Bank, we built Hadoop cluster, big data Hadoop platform, right?
Okay.
And that was the first such platform across Africa as a continent for any bank. That it was the first Hadoop cluster that we built. And that was very good experience, because I think deploying the production infrastructure, right, production and DR site, prod and DR. uh, so what is Hadoop cluster? Hadoop cluster is basically it is the large infrastructure, large big servers, where you can store petabytes of data, exabytes of data,
Okay.
right? And those data sets are being used for further analysis and intelligence and all of that, right?
Okay.
But building that infrastructure was, I think, one business transformation, one very good experience, because I think we built that. I was sitting in India, right, leading that project, and a lot of teams were involved in different countries, in Lithuania, in South Africa. Some members were in, I think, Botswana, Kenya,
Okay.
right? So it was different time zones. So it was very good experience again, right? One example, and again, as I said, right, so people are sitting at their locations there, but we could virtually do things, right, drive things and do things, and that was great experience. Similarly, implementing AI in my latest organization, building AI use cases, that's another business transformation. Because again, I think now with AI, I think other thing that comes up is what is the real business value,
Yes.
right? Because a lot of investment is going into AI, a lot of money is involved, right? But is there adoption after those use cases are productionized? That is one thing. How correct are the responses coming out of these AI agents, AI chatbot, whatever AI use cases we are building? Are these just POCs, or are these real production ready use cases? All of that comes into picture, and that, I think, all of that plays a crucial role when it comes to business transformation.
Okay.
But at end of the day, story is the same. I think it has to deal with your cost and revenue.
Okay.
It has to reduce cost over a period of time and increase revenue.
Okay.
That's the expectation, right?
So I think we got an overall, glimpse of what a business transformation is.
Yeah,
But what do you think exactly is more difficult? Because when a business is transforming, people in that business are also supposed to, adapt themselves according to the
correct.
change that is happening. So what do you think is more difficult? Actually transforming the business, or, making sure that people adapt to that particular change?
I think people adoption is, I think, more difficult. I would say yes. I agree with you, because people adoption, because it's not just say 10 or 20 people. When we are talking about people here, the people means hundreds of people for
Yes.
large enterprises, right? So we are talking about thousands, or yeah, thousands of people, right, for any given time. So it's not easy when it comes to implementing any business transformation agenda or idea, right? First of all, it requires, as I said, right? So it comes from top. So that way, I think there is buy-in from top leadership, and then it is getting implemented. But after deployment, so one example as I gave, right? So AI chatbots. So uh, AI chatbots are built. A lot of paid AI tools like M365 Copilot or your GitHub Copilot and all of that, right? So those may have been procured by the organization, right? But ensuring that the licensing cost involved in these basically tools, right?
Okay.
It should be recovered, and it can be recovered only when people use it, right? People use these tools effectively, so that becomes very crucial. That and That's where I think people aspect comes into picture, where I think you have to educate people what are the benefits of using new tools, or going ahead with the business transformation idea, right? That is one thing, but you also have to have stick in your hand.
Okay.
So you also need to measure basically who are using those tools versus who are not using,
Okay.
right? And there has to be consequence mechanism, because otherwise things really don't work in any organization. Because as I said, right, when it comes to thousands of people, you just can't educate people. Education is definitely needed, that is required, but consequence mechanism is equally important, because otherwise things won't you cannot implement.
Yes, yes.
That's that.
Okay. Now, who are you outside your professional work? I mean, what are your hobbies? What else do you enjoy doing on like a lighter
Oh,
note?
outside of professional life. Okay, I like traveling. Yes,
Okay.
I definitely like traveling. So whenever I have free time, we as a family ensure that we go out. You know, Nearby places outside the state, outside the country, if possible. Right. So traveling is my hobby. I like playing chess. That is
Okay.
another good thing. Online chess, of course. Right. I don't get time. So that's like quick 1 minute games are there, right? So I play those. Then I play with kids watching TV. But again, that's not very nowadays. It is reduced drastically.
Okay.
But I think these 2 things, right? Chess and travel, and of course I like exercising, right?
Okay.
To remain fit,
Yeah.
right? To ensure I can be fit. So that's, I think, these 3 things help me.
So,
Yeah.
so you said you like traveling, right?
Yes.
Which
Yes.
was
Yes.
your favorite place that you went to till now?
Oh, there are a lot of. There are a lot of.
Okay.
So I've been. So we've been to. I think what, UK, France,
Okay.
Switzerland, uh, Italy as well,
Okay.
Vatican, Italy. Then we had been to in Asia, Thailand, Malaysia,
Oh, okay,
Singapore,
wow.
right? US as well. Yeah, a lot of places covered, a lot of places yet to go. I mean, there are plans, will go there sometime. But a lot of places. I think the easygoing place which I like the most is probably Goa.
Okay,
Goa
yes, I
is,
think
yeah,
everyone
easily
goes there.
accessible, one thing, and you enjoy the vibe there,
Yeah.
right? Ocean is awesome.
Yes.
The beaches are very nice. I like Goa. Thailand is also good, but Thailand is at times it becomes crowded, right? So that way Thailand is fine. But yeah, I think Goa is my favorite destination. Yeah.
So, what are your favorite, like, memories from either your personal life or professional life? One like achievement or, just one thing that you'll always remember.
Uh, I mean, a lot of, right? So I think personal life, I think there are a lot of good memories. In personal life, I would say uh, birth of 2 of our kids, right? I have 2 boys. That's very that's a transforming moment, I would say, for me
Yeah.
as a person, right? So that was one thing. In professional life, I think, yes, professional life. I keep changing, reinventing myself, as I said, right? So
Okay.
that, I think, helps me, and that way, I won't say there are many memories as such, but yes, I mean, um, learning new things, I think,
Yes.
in the professional life, right? Because I try and ensure that I keep learning some or other thing, right? So that, I think, not as a memory, but at least, I mean, yes, that is something which I try and do for myself, right? Be it something technical, something on the leadership level or all of that. So, but yeah, learning something is I think good thing which I keep doing.
Yes.
Professional life,
And
yeah.
as a final question,
Yeah.
what is your life motto that drove you till now? Or something that you always just tell yourself?
Life motto,
I mean, it is
I
not.
don't know if it is life motto or what, but I think I'm inspired by Mahatma Gandhi. Wherein I
Okay.
think Mahatma Gandhi, he ensured that you can achieve a lot of things peacefully, right? That is one thing. Or Mahendra Singh Dhoni, he's my favorite player, by the way,
Okay.
right? So he also, when he leads the team, right? I think he ensures that entire team is along with him, right? And together as a team, they are achieving the target, which is nothing but the victory,
Yes.
right? And he's leading the team very cool headedly, right? So that I think is another thing. So from life motto perspective, I won't say there's any specific life motto as such. Life motto is like, okay, if possible, try and make this world a livable place with whatever uh, we as an individual are doing, right? Be it through our professional life, personal life, right? Just try and ensure that make it more beautiful place wherever we are staying,
Yes.
the place or the work area or the nation. So that I think is one thing which I generally try and follow. So yeah, that's that. nothing
Yes.
nothing major. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. It
Sure.
was a extreme pleasure talking to you. We could see how much you loved your work and traveling and all of
Correct.
that. And I think I've also gained a lot of technical insights from
Sure.
whatever you spoke. So thank you so much.
Absolutely, my pleasure, and thanks for inviting me. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
So thank you guys. That's it for today's podcast. For more such content, like, share, and subscribe to SJ Talks. We are saying this during this podcast because it truly makes a difference. So many of you people have been watching SJ Talks, which we are very, very grateful for, but so many of you haven't subscribed yet. And in this episode or in any of our previous episodes, if any piece of content connected to you, made you think differently, offered you a different perspective, or maybe, even just kept you entertained, please do support us. Because behind every piece of content that we create, every piece of information that we put out, or every story of people we share, there's a huge team of hardworking people with extreme passion, dedication, working towards giving you or providing you with this goal. So, we would really appreciate if you could like, share, and subscribe to our channel so we can put out more such content. And for all those people who have been part of this journey with us already, thank you so much. And for those people who are going to come in right now, welcome to SJ Talks family.